subscribe.
Some music sounds like recovery, not perfect recovery, not closure, not peace fully reached, but the strange emotional space that exists after survival, when someone is finally breathing differently, while still carrying the psychological shape of everything that hurt them. That's what Mac Miller's song, Wings, feels like to me. Not triumph, not collapse. A person cautiously learning how to exist without constant emotional drowning. One thing that stands out in Mac Miller's writing is how often vulnerability appears besides defensiveness, longing besides withdrawal, connection besides distrust. And clinically, that emotional contradiction is familiar, because people who've lived through chronic disappointment, instability, betrayal, or emotional inconsistency often develop relationships to closeness that feel deeply conflicted, wanting intimacy and distrusting it at the same time.
Trust is a problem, never knew how. Yeah, that's why I just keep to myself, get what I need, and I'll be out.
That line lands quietly, but psychologically, it says a great deal. Not just difficulty trusting others, difficulty relaxing enough to emotionally depend on anyone at all. There's a kind of loneliness that develops when self-protection becomes identity. A person learns how to need less, reveal less, expect less, and over time, emotional independence can start feeling safer than connection.
I got a bone to pick like roses. I ain't feeling broken no more. Bought a fist that got spin, I noticed. Talking shit, I wonder through the motives. Wonder who the fuck I'm supposed to be. I ain't worried now until I leave. I'm just trying to ride and feel the breeze with something bad beside next to me.
In creative arts therapy, I sometimes see tween and teen patients who become emotionally self-sufficient very early. Not because solitude was fulfilling, but because relying on others stopped feeling stable. And eventually, the nervous system adapts. The person still wants closeness, still wants understanding, but vulnerability begins carrying the emotional weight of danger. So instead, they become highly functional versions of alone. What makes Wings emotionally haunting is that even its freedom feels fragile. The song moves like someone trying to enjoy peace while quietly waiting for it to disappear.
Don't like to gamble on the weather, so I just watch.
Even hope feels carefully monitored, and psychologically, that can happen after prolonged emotional instability. The person becomes afraid not only of pain, but of trusting good experiences too deeply. Because if peace feels temporary, attachment to peace can start feeling dangerous. So the mind stays partially guarded, even during healing.
The walls keep getting wider, I just hope I never find them, I know.
But here, even openness starts feeling uncanny. And I think that captures something important about psychological recovery. Sometimes freedom itself feels unfamiliar, especially for people who spent years organizing themselves around survival. Chaos becomes recognizable. Hypervigilance becomes normal. Emotional tension becomes home. So when life finally becomes quieter, the nervous system doesn't always experience that as safety immediately. Sometimes it experiences it as disorientation. Mac Miller had a way of making emotional complexity sound deceptively calm. Wings doesn't sound emotionally explosive. It sounds reflective, almost weightless at times. But underneath the softness is someone navigating enormous psychological tension, the desire to trust life again while still experiencing loss. And that emotional balancing act feels deeply human because healing is rarely clean. People often imagine recovery as becoming permanently whole. But many forms of healing are quieter than that. A person slowly learning they no longer have to survive every moment as if tragedy is coming. I don't think Mac Miller's Wings is just about freedom. I think it's about what happens when someone survives long enough to finally glimpse emotional openness again and realize they no longer fully know how to live inside it. Not hopelessness not resolution, just a person standing carefully inside a softer life. Trying to believe it might last. Sometimes healing begins the moment a person stops preparing for disaster in every quiet moment. Leave any thoughts in the comment section below. And please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Hello, this is Enrico, licensed creative arts therapist, New York State.